all patriotic Indians who take pride in the achievements of our armed forces, in the prowess of our armed forces, the exact nature of the devastation that we have inflicted upon Pakistan. Now viewers, why are we doing this? Because for too long now, for 2 weeks almost, we've had a large number of doubting Thomases who want the military to certify their valor. Can you believe it, viewers? And therefore tonight, viewers, we must break out of the cycle. In the theatre of national security, there is no room for political denial. Only duty, courage and clarity. But when the guardians of our democracy, our armed forces, carry out daring precision strikes deep into enemy territory and the response from the opposition or other quarters is cynical skepticism, not solemn support, it's not just unfortunate, it's palpably dangerous. Why is it dangerous, viewers? Because it undermines our faith in our own armed forces. It also undermines the faith the armed forces have in themselves. It deals a blow to their morale. And at a time like this, viewers, we want a can-do attitude amongst our armed forces. Prime Minister Narendra Modi, having learnt from previous episodes of political disbelief, ensured that this time proof would be irrefutable. Our brave forces tasked with avenging terror and safeguarding sovereignty went in with cameras rolling, not to glorify war, not to amplify their success, but to silence those who chose politics over patriotism. Imagine, viewers, our forces needed to certify their prowess because politicians at home had zero faith in them. Listen first to the Prime Minister and then, viewers, I will bring to you the findings of this dossier. It's in my hand, viewers. The column inches are there for you to see. I will go through this dossier with you and we will have an insider to elaborate, viewers, with details. But first, listen to the Prime Minister.
22 मिनट में साथियों, 22 मिनट में उनको ध्वस्त कर दिया। और इस बार तो सब कैमरा के सामने की सारी व्यवस्था रखी थी ताकि हमारे घर में कोई सबूत न मांगे। अब हमें सबूत नहीं देना पड़ रहा है, वो ऊपर वाला दे रहा है।
Now, viewers, what did the cameras capture? Let's settle this once and for all. This debate has been raging for too long. A dossier prepared by a former military veteran in consultation with officers in the know has now laid bare what the government had already declared. Pakistan was hit and hit hard, that this strike was not chut-put, but a catastrophe inflicted upon Pakistan. And why am I saying this? Because, viewers, in my hand is a report that has been prepared by Wing Commander Satyam Kushwaha. Now, he's a decorated soldier, viewers, and he spoke to evolve a comprehensive, independently sourced assessment of the strategic and operational losses sustained by the Pakistan Air Force, both in air and on ground. And viewers, this report encompasses confirmed as well as recently reported aerial and ground asset destruction, sustained operational expenditures, infrastructure degradation, and this data has been triangulated from open source intelligence, commercial satellite imagery and independent expert analysis, ensuring analytical rigor as well as, viewers, credible sources who don't want to be named at this stage. Remember what the DGMO Air Force had come out and said. He said that, look, we are still carrying out an assessment, and this was, viewers, on the third day of Operation Sindhu, one of those press conferences, and he says we'll bring out these details later. But viewers, those in the know have spoken, and those in the know are sharing information, because even the armed forces are now tired of having to give certificates. So, viewers, What are the air losses? And you can see that F-16 Block 52 fighter jets, four have gone down at a total cost of $349.52 million. It's not a small amount, viewers. Big. 2 Mirage fighter jets. You can put this, but you can also put out the first graphic plate. Keep that on screen. Let me have this here. It's okay. It's all, viewers, just taken from these tables and put on screen for you, for your benefit. We've had Mirage, viewers, fighter jets worth 30 million. And we are talking about at least 2. An IL-78 refueling tanker 1, which is $35 million. A CM-400 AKG missiles. You have Shaheen class missiles, 2 each. And of course, we know the Turkish drones that went down, viewers. 6 of them at a cost of $36 million. Not insubstantial if you really look at the entire thing, viewers. And what are the assets destroyed on the ground? At least one C-130H Hercules worth about $40 million, one SAB ERI or 2000 ERI airborne early warning and control system worth $93 million. We know this because we saw the hangar in which it was, viewers, demolished. One HQ-9 surface to air missile battery, viewers, which is about $200 million. 2 mobile command centers worth $10 million, viewers, rendering Pakistan blind. Have you ever asked yourselves, viewers, how the Indian Air Force, the Indian missile systems took out all these targets so quickly in Pakistan? Because Pakistan was blind, viewers. It couldn't see. It was rendered defunct on its soil. How can anyone say that is chutput? Operational readiness expenditures, viewers. So by initiating a war for 29 days, they had to, at the cost of $725 million, set up combat air patrols and strikes. 29 days this went on, viewers. Drone and missile operation costs are $450 million. Border mobilization and surface-to-air operations for 29 days cost $435 million. There was damage to key air bases and facilities. You're seeing visual evidence of that. Noor Khan base with hangars, shelters and control centers, viewers. Just that, just the damage is $125 million in count. Sargodha base with F-16 base, radar and command infrastructure saw $100 million in estimated damages. And yet, the denial persists. There are people like Sanjay Rawat who say, viewers, Operation Sindoor is a failure. However, we in opposition refrain from talking about it, keeping in mind the interest of the nation, unquote. Mallikarjun Kharge, Congress president, says, quote, now in these chutput yuddha or small wars that have taken place here and there, Pakistan has been downplaying India at all levels, particularly with tacit support from China, unquote. Viewers, did this man stop to think about the damage we've inflicted on China's military reputation by making its arms that they supplied to Pakistan look like junk? No, viewers. For them, it's all about politics. Political missiles should fly. Charanjit Singh Channi, Congress ex-Punjab Chief Minister, he says the government has made claims about surgical strikes, but where is the evidence? I have been asking this question for a long time. And even today, my question is the same. Where is the evidence? Unquote. Patriotism does not belong to one party, but betrayal of our forces' integrity must not become a political habit. The time has come for the opposition to rise above pettiness and acknowledge the hard-won victories of our forces and give credit where it is due. The truth is ours. The question is, does the opposition have the courage to accept it? And I'm going to ask that question first, viewers, of a top military officer. Let's go straight across to him. Now, let me just cut to the chase, viewers, and let's go straight across to Air Chief Bharatiya. Air Chief, how much damage have we inflicted? There's such a lot of talk that this was chutput, a chutput strike, this, that, the other. So how much damage have we inflicted in the air on Pakistan? That's one of the big questions. There have been hints that have been dropped by the DGMO Air, but never elaborated upon. There's still a conversation within government whether they want to make these details public or not, but that's separate. And of course, on-ground air assets of Pakistan. So both air and on-ground air assets. What's your assessment now?
Okay, if you were to talk of how much damage we inflicted, let's start with the first strike on the terrorist targets itself. First day, I don't think there's any element of doubt. 9 targets struck, including Muridke and Bahawalpur, all destroyed, all proof provided. There is no element of doubt in any of those. And let me just re-emphasize that 2 of those targets were really big, really the core centers of their establishments and terror. And not only were the terrorists targeted, it exposed how ISI and Pakistani military was hand in glove. They not only attended their funeral, but were so upset with the kind of damage that we did that they continued to thereafter attempt to inflict strikes and damage onto us. So this is important. They were exposed, not only we always knew about it, I think they were exposed to the world, and the world needs to take notice, point 1. In terms of, I think you are asking what is our claim on what have we destroyed of Pakistani Air Force in the air, or when we struck what is the damage on the ground.
Yeah.
Very clearly, in the first DGAO and DGMO debrief that was held at their level, DGAO was asked this question and he straight away hinted we are still into technical analysis, but very clearly that day he mentioned 3 high-tech aircraft, that was 3 high-tech fighters, and 1 high-value asset. High value asset in this sense is like a AWC or a refueler or a Elint aircraft. Okay. So that was on that day. There was one more night of attacks and combat. Whatever analysis I have seen, there is a claim of a very strong claim of at least 4 fighters in the air, 4 fighters, okay, and 1 high value, which in terms of assessment and who's where at that stage, I would put it more on their Elint aircraft kind of high value asset. On the ground, and it is so visible in terms of targets that were struck. Firstly, I'll come to the aircraft. I think Bolari that was struck, AWC is surely damaged there. Would be disabled because any strike in that, anything in that hangar would not survive. On Bolari, F-16 base on Jacobabad, there is 4 F-16s that have been claimed destroyed in that attack. Very clearly, targets like in shelters attacked like that, nothing would survive inside. There is somewhere I read one C-130 analysis. I am not sure about it, so I will not confirm that. Apart from this, very importantly, when they started attacking with drones, initially attack was done on their radar close to the border, on their surface-to-air missile. Those 2 targets were taken. Thereafter, once they started attacking with more drones on the next night, their 3 radars have been taken, which are fixed radars. Most importantly, when they struck Adhampur and many of the air bases.
So let me come to that, because lot has been talked about our AD capabilities. Why couldn't they attack us, for example? We have suffered no damage. Udhampur was their big claim. Prime Minister goes there. It looks perfectly okay.
Firstly, they made all effort to attack. Their intrusions with drones was an effort to assess everything, and thereafter they made all effort. Their aircraft could not come anywhere close because of the way our MRSAMs and S-400s were deployed. And S-400 in particular ensured that they were not close enough to launch their air-launched missiles in large numbers. But they still launched. Those were intercepted. Okay. Their surface-to-surface missiles they had to bank on because of this. This has to be understood, because their aircraft could not come. Their air-launched are in the range of 120 odd kilometer. So they resorted to surface-to-surface missile, and Adhampur was attacked very strongly to target S-400 in particular. With all other bases, they infiltrated with their loitering munitions, with UCAV-based attacks, and they were all negated.
So
important on the air defense side you mentioned.
Yeah.
So I would just cover the air defense. How did it happen? Our air defense is ISCCS, which is an indigenous system. It has networked the entire country, all the Air Force radars. It has networked all our weapons. So there is a complete seamless integration. It is absolutely network based. All the army units and whatever their radars and AD is networked under Akash Tir. And there is a integration of Akash Tir and ISCCS. So when all the drones came, initially the Akash Tir system has tackled the drones effectively in terms of picking up, along with visual pickup, in terms of tackling. And those are not tackled with missiles, small drones, all with either jammers or guns or attack guns. It is the loitering munition or higher level of drones which got tackled by some SAMs of Akash variety. It is the surface to surface missiles, the air launched cruise missiles, and the aircraft that got tackled by systems like S-400. So this is how the air defense worked.
So now there is a lot of talk that our S-400 took out an aircraft. There's also talk that we did use it quite a bit. What's your assessment? How many S-400s did we fire, and whether this is true?
See, the numbers Air Force hasn't released, so I won't want to guess it. But just going by the numbers of SSMs that we are talking of that they have launched, the numbers of cruise missiles that they launched, there's anything, 2 were intercepted, there were more that were shot. SSMs two were effectively down, there were more that came in and hit, which did not cause any damage because our assets were no longer there. On 3 nights when their aircraft were attempting to come close, they've been fired upon. So I would put the number anywhere in the region of between I would say 15 to 20 region.
Of S-400s?
S-400 or S-400 plus MRSAM, because it is difficult, it is all a combination of who's located where and in which area threat is developing. So unless you have the exact numbers or exact location, and unless you know the figures released by Air Force, I think it is not good to guess. But I would put the number somewhere there. So very, very strong defense was conducted from our forces, and that is the result. That's the reason they could not attack, they could not succeed.
And all of this, viewers, is being called chutput. Can you believe that? Can you believe that, viewers? Can you believe that? That's where we are politically. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Air Chief, for putting this into perspective for us. This is very valuable. Thank you. It is valuable, viewers. It is valuable. It is valuable because it gives you, for the first time, an idea. Now let's open this up because questions need to be asked. And remember, viewers, the questions that the opposition is asking today, they will be judged by those questions. Let's open this up. Let's get some voices in. And I want to, keeping those graphics on air, viewers, tonight, and the footage, I want to first begin with Mr. Nikul Patel. Thank you very much, Mr. Patel, for joining us. I have to ask you this. Very, very disappointing when we see Congress allies, Congress president, other Congress leaders question the valor really of our forces by suggesting they've underperformed, that this was a chutput operation executed at a underwhelming level. When you are seeing the graphics, sir, and you can see the graphics and you can hear the experts, the former Air Chief Marshal R.K.S. Bhadoria Sahab has come out and given numbers and figures which exactly mirror some of these findings that we have put out through our sources and through this dossier that we have been able to access, which was put together by Wing Commander Satyam Kushwaha. So I have to ask you, sir, they always say there is, in the theatre of national security, there is no room for political denial, only duty, courage and clarity. Sir, are you failing your duty by the forces? Simple, just a simple question.
Yeah. See, if you take any services which any citizen is opting it, then definitely his first perspective is to give the full contribution with dedication and hard working to that nation so that it can support to the entire country. So there is never being doubt on any of the armed forces or any of the civil services or any of the jobs that one is doing with respect to the service to the nation. That is my first statement to you. Secondly, see, when it comes to Congress, because as you say that I was just informed 2 minutes before that I have to join, and that is the dedication and what I feel to my political party to be here with you answering your hard questions on the hard talks. So definitely, nobody is going to do such things, I think.
Okay, but so let me ask you, because it's an important follow-up question that I must pose to you. Do you agree when Mr. Kharge called this operation a chutput operation, would that not amount to undermining the achievements of our forces? First answer, do you agree with Mr. Kharge? Do you believe this was chutput? Yes or no?
No, I've already answered to your question in my previous statement that all people who worked in the larger interest of the nation are working with very hard dedication and hard efforts. So we cannot say that any effort is in vain or any effort that anybody is
Okay.
keeping for the
So then
national
can I
security.
ask you, this is very,
Yeah, sure.
I appreciate you for your candor and thank you very much. But can I ask you then, why hasn't any action been contemplated against those from your party, including Mr. Kharge?
See, you have right to pose question on us, and definitely that has to be answered by, because we are also responsible to the country. And if you are asking such question, then definitely it has to be posed on the highest or apex person of the party. Let's see what happens. I am not here able to give your answer or justification about what you are asking right now. So I will
Okay.
be sorry for it.
Okay, you're sorry for the fact that someone has used the word chutput. Let me ask Mr. Srivastava. Mr. Srivastava, are you sorry? Would you say unfortunate usage of the term
No.
underwritten
No.
by insecurity,
No.
political insecurity, and a desperate attempt to
No political insecurity.
no political.
No political insecurity. I endorse what he said.
You endorse.
And I support him. He said the right thing. He said
So,
the right
so
thing.
you,
Maybe
so
the
you
Pravakta
will
from the
doubt,
Congress doesn't
you will
think it is
doubt
the
the
right thing from his
forces.
party. Yeah. No, we do not doubt the forces also. You called the operations midway under American pressure. This is what Mr. Kharge is trying to say. 10 साल आपने ढिंडोरा पीटा, अखंड भारत, बांग्लादेश, पाकिस्तान, बलूचिस्तान अलग, सिंध अलग. 10 years this government has done a nautanki, and the BJP kept on fooling the people that we are going to do this and that. And then when you go over there and the Americans put a hand on your shoulder and say stop, you come back.
On what
That is the
basis are you
context in
making
which
this
Mr. Kharge is
statement, sir?
talking.
On what basis are you saying the Americans put a hand on our
Absolutely,
shoulder?
Everybody knows it.
What?
Absolutely, it is American pressure. Early morning,
How?
money is given to Pakistan.
Explain to me.
Early morning, the
Early-
IMF passes the loan. Early morning, Pakistanis get the money. Everybody knows it.
So how does that
Everybody
stop
knows
us?
it. We were hitting the targets.
So one
The
minute,
army was
one minute,
going
one
fine.
minute.
We
Just
have
look
these
at the
jawans.
logic. One second,
Everybody
Mr.
respects the army.
Srivastava, one second.
Yeah.
You know, you're all fire and brimstone and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's fine. You see,
Yeah.
that's okay. But I want you to think about this, viewers. He says, you see, in the morning they gave the money to Pakistan. So this proves that everything was being done by America, orchestrated by America. Now remember, viewers, this is Trump who came to power and immediately gave Pakistan another tranche of money so that they could upgrade their F-16s. And this happened, viewers, first term. Biden continued the policy, continued to give money. Then Trump comes back into power and gives more money. So money has always been given, but that didn't stop India from crossing the LOC
No,
and bombing.
no,
Now, let me
it is the
finish. I'm now
timing.
bringing out the facts. Okay.
No,
So
it
you're
is the
talking about an
timing. Comment on
IMF
the
loan.
timing.
I'm talking about direct
Mr.
loan from
Analyst,
the
comment
American
on the
government.
timing. We were at war.
Sir,
We were at war.
Sir.
And India was sidelined and they gave money to the Pakistanis.
How?
What was the foreign minister doing?
Okay.
168 foreign visits
so then
of the Prime Minister.
why does,
and not a
excuse me,
single
Mr.
country stand
Srivastava,
with India.
so are you saying that people like Shashi Tharoor,
Yeah.
people like Mr. Khurshid, people like Manish Tiwari, who have said that, and Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi, who have said that we created hell in Pakistan, are all liars? That they're all under American pressure? People
I'll
from
tell you
your
what.
own ranks?
You don't have to.
John
you see,
Britas?
They are two different things.
What
The
is two
army
different things?
And the External Affairs Ministry and the cabinet.
No, one second,
Don't
one second,
equate
one second.
the government and
the
the army.
person who leads.
They are different organizations.
Okay. One second. Let's just rewind, viewers.
Nobody is questioning the army and the bravado.
This man says, should put strike. Who does this reflect on, viewers? when you underplay the achievements of the armed forces, when you underplay those facts that have been put out, viewers, collated and underwritten by people like Air Chief Marshal R.K.S. Bhadoria. Now, these are not people, viewers, who are given to lying or to supporting the government without any casus belli. They are there, viewers, because they have a name, they have experience, they have understanding, and they know what it takes. There were several foreign experts who also come out and said the same things. Why would they need to align with Modi? One doesn't know. So, viewers, the point is this.
No, you.
The point is this, the world is...
Seven.
No, 1 second. The world is sitting up and looking at this and recognizing our valor, our entire new paradigm that we have erected, except for the opposition. You have to ask yourself why. So much so that the Pakistanis yesterday were flitting around with a fake photograph because they have nothing to show how they've attacked and damaged India. The so-called field marshal there was giving the Prime Minister a postcard, a poster, saying these are Pakistani missile systems that demolished India, and they turned out to be, viewers, pictures from a 2019 Chinese army drill. And even Vivek Srivastava is laughing because he knows that they are clowns and jokers, and Asaduddin Owaisi called them clowns and jokers, and he knows. He knows. But viewers,
No.
people like Mr. Srivastava are doing the bidding for the Chinese Communist Party. They're their front office here. Why? Because the Chinese want their image to be burnished. Why, viewers? Because their armaments have turned into duds.
This is utter nonsense.
So you have
Why
Mr.
would you question the
Srivastava
government
sitting
and
here
its
and saying,
failures?
कुछ नहीं हुआ, हमने कुछ नहीं किया, हमने तो in fact अपने हाथ और
अरे
घुटने
आपने फौज को
सारे
वापस बुला लिया।
नहीं 1 second. Wait, see, there you
और
go.
सर,
viewers.
ceasefire
Let me bring in the
Trump ने किया,
BJP.
सर।
Let me bring in the BJP national spokesperson is here with us, Mr. Tuin Sinha. We also have with us Mr. Gupta, Swarajya Magazine, independent expert. Let's ask them. Where does the BJP stand on these accusations that Mr. Srivastava has made, sir? Tuin Sinha.
Well, good evening, Rahul. Good evening, everybody. You know, the problem with Congress Party is that it suffers from a deadly combination of inferiority complex and a sinister mindset. And Mr. Srivastava suffers from it 5 times over. So, you know, it almost seems, if you look at the perverse, the wicked glee which Rahul Gandhi was deriving by questioning what are the losses on our side, you know, my simple question to the Congress Party is, did we see them celebrate half as much when the DGMO listed out 11 PAF air bases which we had completely destroyed? We didn't see them celebrate. So what right do they have to you know, imagine losses on our side when it is very clear that we won a conclusive victory? The losses, if at all, on our side have been minuscule compared to the colossal losses on Pakistan side, which has also been corroborated by, you know, international warfare experts, be it John Spencer's, be it Tom Cooper, or, you know, many other warfare experts. Now, you know, what the likes of Pawan Khera and Supriya Srinath have been indulging in borders on lunacy. Have you noted how many times they tried to maliciously misinterpret the statement of EAM at a time when India was embarking on perhaps its biggest diplomatic mission abroad? And, you know, I can directly, you know, with all responsibility, I make this accusation that Rahul Gandhi encouraged the misinterpretation of EAM purely to derail our diplomatic motive. You know, these opposition leaders and Rahul Gandhi...
Sir, but you don't have a right to misrepresent.
20
what the
seconds.
opposition is for.
Allow me 20 seconds. Behave yourself.
I have a right to question the EAM.
You have a right to question but not misrepresent.
Needs to learn so much from Asaduddin
No
Owaisi. They need to learn so much from Abhishek Banerjee. They need to learn so much from Shashi Tharoor. They are disgraceful people. They cannot stand up for national interest, calling it chutput war. You know what? just because Pakistan has been decimated and you have perhaps
Why are
been
you
tasked
scared
by
of
China
questions?
to find out our losses, you
You
cannot
have
undermine
not
the
answered
valor,
a
the
single
courage of our
question
armed
and you are just doing
forces.
a
The
rhetoric and
country
giving
will
us bad
never
names. Nothing
forgive
else.
you.
No
The
logic
country will
available.
never
No
forgive you
reasoning.
for undermining the valor, the courage
The
of our
country will
armed
never
forces.
forgive.
And
You are a bad
perhaps you are
man.
doing it at
Congress
the
is a
behest
bad.
of
Someone is
China.
choosing
Communist is
politics
bad.
over
Vivek is
patriotism,
bad.
viewers, and
World
I'm
is
not saying
bad.
let's become
No answers.
completely. No, one
No
second.
answers.
No, hang on. Let us not. I've never said, viewers, that we should allow patriotism to tint our outlook. I have never been one of those jingoistic, warmongering types. Ask the right questions. No one is stopping you from asking the right questions. But when there is proof
I'm
staring
asking the
you
right
right back. Now,
question.
hang on. I want to show you visuals now, viewers. And this is visuals. And please, Tushar Gupta, have a look at your screen. These are visuals that were released today by the BSF, viewers, showing us targeting launch pads across the LOC, and Pakistani Rangers are running to save their lives. When have you seen stuff like this, viewers? And this is on across the IB and across POK. Whether it is Putwal or other parts of the LOC and IB, viewers, you've never seen these pictures. This is not chutput nonsense, Tushar Gupta, and I have to ask. It's not Pakistani propaganda that I feel that is being pushed here. I think that's just too easy. You know, I have a feeling that there is a larger design. I mean, this is a brazen ego massage for China. There is a cover-up. There is something more sinister, as the BJP national spokesperson said. He used these words, sinister, malicious, etc. And I can never forget that there has been an MOU signed between one particular party and the CCP of China. So I don't know. What do you make of it?
Good evening, Rahul. Look, the good thing about facts is that they're not slave to someone's deranged misinterpretation of events. Fact number one. Did we hit Pakistan from Skardu to Karachi? Absolutely, yes. Were the bases that we hit also a part of China-Pakistan economic corridor? Absolutely, yes. Is the opposition ever going to acknowledge that they did not care for the geography of these bases or the ownership of these bases, which included the Chinese? Absolutely not. The opposition is also going to deny them. Fact number two, does the opposition like to downplay Operation Sindoor? Absolutely yes. Why? Because it highlights their incompetence in dealing with Pakistan during their government. People are naturally going to ask that our military always had the resources, always had the will, always had the wit to hit back Pakistan in a language they understood. So why was the UPA silent after a series of attacks on our cities after Mumbai 26/11? And that is the incompetence. They do not want to be a part of the mainstream discussion. That's fact number two. Fact number three, did we dismantle Pakistan's nuclear blackmail? Absolutely yes. Rahul, people don't realize when we hit Noor Khan, we hit a base that is just a few miles away from the Pakistan's nuclear command authority. We demonstrated this ability that if the opportune moment arrives, we can take out entire nuclear infrastructure of Pakistan, give ourselves the window where Pakistan's first strike to hit policy will never hurt us. People don't want to accept that. People don't want to accept the magnitude of the success. Fact number four, there was an opposition leader who just released a video a few months back playing with a Chinese drone and questioning the Indian ability, Indian hardware ability. All the Chinese air defense systems in Pakistan have been neutralized from Skardu to Karachi.
No, name that
Look
person.
at the magnitude
Name
across the
that
land.
person.
It was
Don't hold
Rahul
back.
Gandhi. He released it. He released it on his Twitter timeline. It was Rahul Gandhi.
What did he say
celebrating
exactly?
He celebrated the manufacturing capability of the Chinese, saying, look at their drones and how well they're doing with the hardware. Look, Indians have neutralized every Chinese air defense system in Pakistan. We've hit all the critical bases. Will the opposition ever accept that? Will Rahul Gandhi come out and say, yes, India's military hardware, indigenous hardware, is superior to what the Chinese produce? Absolutely not. Fact number five, Vivek Srivastava here says it's his right to ask the questions.
We are
And
not
one
there
question
as
I've been asking
cheerleaders.
him
What do
for
you want the
weeks.
opposition to do?
The
Become your
CPIM
cheerleaders?
doesn't support India's nuclearization. It doesn't
We are not
support the
cheerleaders,
nuclear
man.
arsenal we have. It supports the idea of denuclearization. Now that we know that Pakistan was
Nonsense.
firing Shaheens on India and they were all neutralized, will CPIM, will Vivek Srivastava representing the CPIM again say and apologize that denuclearization was a bad
Respond.
idea? That's
Oh,
five
bhai,
facts.
Respond, sir. Respond.
We are not cheerleaders.
What do you mean
Rahul Gandhi
cheerleaders?
is not
Answer
your
the question.
cheerleader.
Why did you
We are
take
not
an
your
anti-nuclear
cheerleaders.
posture? Why did you want to
Zindabad,
defang
Zindabad,
India of its
we are not
nuclear
for this.
weapons?
We
Simple
are going
question.
to question We have a
Why
right
are
to
you
know,
supporting the
leader of opposition has
denuclearization
the
of
right
India
to
when
know
China and
कि
Pakistan
हमारी क्या
one second, when
कमियां
India
हुई?
hang on,
No,
when
no, no,
India
it
is
is not
surrounded by
cheerleaders.
nuclear tipped neighbors, I want to ask you, why do you want the denuclearization?
Yeah.
Tell me. Answer.
No, nobody wants a no.
Of course you do.
Number
It's written
one,
in your manifesto.
He's misquoting it.
Page number
We are
39.
talking
Page
of
number 39.
Okay, let's read page number 39.
Global
Let's read page number 39. Let's pull it
number
out.
one. Number two.
No, please.
No.
I want us to read page number 39. We're going to read page number 39.
I know it by heart.
What do you know by
I
heart?
tell you what it is? Don't try to
what does
fool
it
the
say?
people over here with your rhetorics. Listen to me now. Yeah, it's very clear. The left stands for global, denuclearization or neutralization of the nuclear arms across the world. If America agrees, you just keep quiet. You do not know what the left stands for.
Let's read it. Let's read it.
Can I read it?
Let's read it. Let's read it. Silence. Tushar Gupta, respond,
पता ही नहीं है
please.
लेफ्ट की लॉजिक क्या है.
Let's read it.
पाकिस्तानी लेफ्ट
Page
पार्टीज क्या बोल
number
रही है.
39
Page
of
number.
this manifesto of CPIM.
Yes.
The CPIM
out
works
of
for
context.
exit
You are
from
reading
alliances like
manifesto is a
India-US
brief
Defense
document.
Framework
Don't
Agreement,
misguide
Quad
the
and
people.
ITU2,
Answer
removal
the
of all
comment on
military
your
bases in
failures.
our region, complete elimination of nuclear weapons and other weapons of mass destruction,
There you go.
including chemical and biological
So hang on, just
weapons.
stop there.
Point
We've got
number
it.
three.
We've got it. We've got it.
Absolutely.
That's the language. Now, he's saying absolutely. You see, viewers, the fact check happened on live television. Now you have to ask yourself, a party that signs an MOU, a party that is an adjunct of the communists. No, one second. A communist. Excuse me, sir. Relax. Calm down.
Listen to me now. Listen to me.
Okay,
listen to
no.
me.
I am now moving
Listen to
on.
me. Listen
There's
to me.
nothing
Listen to me.
more.
Let me
You've been
speak.
exposed.
Let me speak.
We now know whose agenda is being
You
peddled here, viewers,
nobody
and for
is
what
exposed. You are
interest.
exposed.
What interest is being served here? Even today, and I have to say, Nikul Patel has also said, look, I will not stand up for the words of Mr. Kharge. Even he has had the sense, but not the die-hard communist on this show,
I
viewers.
stand for the words of Mr.
That's
Kharge
right, because
he's
viewers
right.
undermining India's prowess, suggesting that we haven't been able to penetrate Pakistan
Rahul,
because of their
Rahul,
Chinese
one
systems,
question, one
air
question.
defense systems, is the narrative
one
that wants to
question.
be put out. Yes, very quickly, sir, I need to move on. Yes.
Rahul, one question of the common sense variety. The communists know that the Chinese are never going to give up their nuclear weapons, especially with the Pacific dynamics. How do they expect India to give up its nuclear weapons?
Listen, there is no common sense. There is agenda. Now, I want to move on because viewers, there's been a very significant development today. Very significant, and we need to focus on it. By 2031, viewers, by 2031, in just 6 years, don't be surprised to see a made in India 5th generation stealth bomber jet streaking across the skies, Indian skies. It will be our own avenger of death, our own angel of justice, and our very own declaration of Atmanirbharta or self-reliance. The nation will behold this object of cutting-edge stealth and supersonic prowess because, in a bold move, the Modi government has given the green light to the production of high-stakes, super-prestigious AMCA, AMCA, or the Advanced Multi-Role Combat Aircraft. Modi government approves the Advanced Medium Combat Aircraft Program Execution Model. What is that? It's going to be obviously a boost for India's indigenous defense capabilities, foster robust domestic aerospace industrial ecosystem. Aeronautical Development Agency is set to execute the program through industry partnership. So no one entity will be considered as a natural choice. No one PSU, no HAL, and everyone will have to bid to win the contract. HAL, which has been the only entity in India to manufacture fighter planes. And even when they do get the contract, they are the hub and they source from ancillaries. Even HAL will have to compete against private companies like Tata, Adani and L&T. The successful induction of the AMCA will capture global attention, especially in the US and China. No longer will we have to lean on foreign powers, and most importantly, we will be firmly in the cockpit in the eventuality of a confrontation. Viewers, I just want to quickly give you a quick comparison on various parameters between India's AMCA, which is under development, and the SU or the Sukhoi 57, the F-22 Raptor, which is a 4th to 6th generation viewers fighter, and the J-20 A320 Chengdu. Now all of these viewers, have a look at how it compares. There's very little differentiating these. Low RCS means that it cannot be detected easily by radar either. We're talking about the AMCA. So the Felon does a little better, evasive tech on the Raptor, and very low RCS on the Chengdu. So we're in the same ballpark, viewers. Service date is 2031. The others have already been around and they have a lead over us. But viewers, this is very, very important because it suggests that we are now going to be competing globally. And this is very critical, very, very critical. I want us to speak now to two experts who are going to be able to put this into perspective, what it means and how competitive will the AMCA be with rivals. Let's go straight across. Let's go straight across to two very authoritative voices on this particular issue. Air Chief, I have to ask you this question because it's very important. And I believe you're still in active service because you're sitting here and you're speaking up for the nation. So it's a deliberate. But Bharatiya Sahab, look, the fact of the matter is that India is deciding to go ahead with AMCA project. How do you view this decision? There's also now a nod to the private sector to come in. Many people will say, oh, why do we need private sector when HAL was there and we have enough capability in the public sector, so why do we have to go private? What do you first make of this?
Firstly, it's a very big and a very good decision that it is open for participation to both private sector and public sector equally. A very important decision. From the word go, when AMCA was conceived and when AMCA discussions were on, this is one of the points that was projected by Air Force, and I was very keen that this is the project where private sector needs to come in a big way, even when I was in the chair. Later on, AMCA got approved, and this decision of how the private sector would come in, whether it will be HAL led or SPV or this, so now that clarity has come. And I think it is very, very important at the stage that we are in terms of indigenous, research and development and overall in the defense industry capability. There is a lot of energy in the private sector. There is a lot of energy in startup. There is a lot of energy in technology development, and that is not being capitalized upon. And therefore, it is right time for public sector and private sector to come together and capitalize on this. I am so happy to see this happening.
So, what are the learning experiences from the Tejas experiment?
Oh, Tejas was, it was designed and developed by ADA, we are all aware, and produced by HAL. A long time in design and development, but in its final implementation, a lot of lessons, but a very good tech that has been kind of imbibed by the industry, and a very good product in its class for the Indian Air Force, in its class. Okay. Building on that, there are very good building blocks, the composites, the fly-by-wire, the kind of automated systems, the kind of data fusion, etc., etc. So all those needs to go into this new age aircraft, be it Mark II and finally the AMCA. So there is a lot of learning that the industry has done. There is a lot of learning, although it should have been faster as far as I am concerned for the private sector, because the DPSOs didn't involve the private sector so much. But now this change would happen, and I think it is good for the country.
Master Srivastava, what does the AMCA bring to the table?
See, basically, Rahul, I must say, and taking forward from what Chief has said already, AMCA is kind of a dream project, and I have seen it from both private sector and public sector and Indian Air Force. So we wanted to create a consortium, whether it's in the form of HL-led thing or it's a SPV where people have their equity, and we wanted to do two things: make AMCA modular. So everybody has his own part to do. Somebody does the airframe, somebody does the wing, somebody does the landing gear, and somebody does the avionics, sensors, and then we fuse them. It had already been in design made in that way. That means it is modular in structure. What we needed was national commitment, which I find now coming up. And one thing we always said, that if we really want our country to do well, we need to activate both arms of manufacturing, public sector and private sector. Rahul, for your information, for the viewers' information, I was in Bharat Dynamics Limited, and that's where I was director of production, and we saw this. And I was also with L&T, heading the flight system business unit. So I bring in those two experiences, and I think, I mean, if you take the example from US also, the government gives money either to Lockheed Martin or to the Boeing, and then it gets going. Because public sector, as I was in public sector, has a lot of oversight, and your way of spending money or your way of doing things faster becomes that process tightened. But if you are in private sector, you face a situation, you can resolve it quickly, because every situation needs some kind of funding or some kind of money into it. So bringing both the things together, creating an environment, something like SPV, Special Purpose Vehicle, for MCA project will really push it very fast and accelerate it. And I'm sure we have now, LC experience, Chief was talking about, has given us that ecosystem. We always wanted aeronautical industry ecosystem around us so that we can get our things done in-house. Now within the country we have a lot of this thing. We have a lot of tie-ups also with the foreign vendors at various levels, even at major component assembly levels and all that. Pre-FAL, of course, we had earlier also, final assembly level. So with all that coming together and synergizing, with private sector participating, public sector being there, and the government giving its the national commitment and pushing it, I'm pretty sure the lines will be very fast and they'll get accelerated. And as timelines are being laid out, we should do something by 2030. I don't think it's impossible. We are in 2025. We can really do it.
So let me ask you, Air Chief Marshal, because the question is very simple. Can we meet the timelines, and how do these compare with the J platforms of China and the F platforms of the United States?
Timelines, you brought an important issue. I think what ADA has done in terms of preparatory work towards AMCA, not now for a couple of years, and as a design document, as the PDP phase, a lot of work has already been done. And from timeline perspective, even more important that it is, private sector is fully into it, because that is the best way to meet timeline. That's the best way to, protect from cost and time overruns. So I am now more hopeful with this implementation that the timelines would be met and there will be no overruns. In terms of how it will come out, you I think asked whether how does it compare with the West or with the Chinese stealth aircraft. You see, this is our first stealth aircraft. The design is more or less frozen. It was frozen on a 5th generation fighter aircraft. The first one that will come out, let's be practical, initially is with non-stealth engines but with a stealth design, but very much capable and very much required for our forces. And the very next one will be along with the stealth engines. When it comes, difference between 5th and 6th tech is in many ways in terms of some sensors, weapons, and some kind of advanced systems. And I think it is important for the Air Force and industry to start putting 6th gen technologies in this itself. We have a 10-year period. We need to do that. And what comes out finally is a nearly 6th gen fighter that should emerge. I would say that's how we need to go. So we should not worry too much whether it will come out as a competitor to China. It will come out. It will come out. We have the capability today. We have the technology. We have the will.
A lot of people talk about the engine.
Yeah.
Now, do we have that?
No, we don't. And that is why engine, it was important that as a follow-up of Kaveri, a joint development program on engine for 6th generation is very important. And I do expect that that decision will also get expedited, because we need that to happen fast. You have raised an important point. I think it is important.
So you're saying we're still lagging a little bit in the engine design
we are lagging
capacities?
Hell of a lot on the engine, on the
How do we close this
indigenous
gap?
design.
Right.
The plan was that we will do a joint development program. I think there were 2-3 countries shortlisted. It is not the G414 TOT that we are talking of. 5th generation engine was another program. There was in between news that there are talks in advanced stage with France. Earlier Rolls-Royce was also in the discussions, and including GE. whatever decision is to be taken in that respect, I think would happen fast now, and that is another program which needs to take off now.
So just to be absolutely sure, the engine will be imported, but everything else will be indigenous.
On this, the initial 2 squadrons that will come with 414 engine. That is in the plan. So there is a timeline that is quite clear and certain for the initial FGFA. In parallel, we need to do the engine development so that after the 2 squadrons, we have a 5th generation engine which is going to power it. So that's how it will pan out.
Thank you, gentlemen, for this very enlightening conversation. Thank you very much. Viewers, we bombed the living daylights out of Pakistan. Footage is still being released, as it was today, of India's BSF blowing up Pakistan terror pads and Pak Ranger posts along the LOC and IB during the height of Operation Sindoor, when these terror pads were fully loaded and the idea was to infiltrate terrorists. But despite the thrashing, the Pakistanis aren't getting the message. The Director General of BSF has told us that it is back amassing terrorists at launch pads. Can you believe it, viewers? Listen into this.
हमने हालांकि एक कड़ा संदेश पाकिस्तान को भेजा है, परंतु उस मुल्क पे हम विश्वास नहीं कर सकते हैं। वहाँ पे किसी भी प्रकार से अगर दोबारा से रीग्रुपिंग होती है तो वो हमारी इंटेलिजेंस एजेंसीज और हमारे से छिपेगा नहीं, और आने वाले समय में किसी भी परिस्थिति से निपटने के लिए हम सक्षम हैं।
The Prime Minister has warned Pakistan that every goalie or bullet it fires from across the LOC or through its proxies on Indian soil will be responded with a gola. He said Pakistan should live peacefully, eat roti, otherwise India's goalies are ready to be fired. Listen in.
पाकिस्तान के हमले का जवाब हमने इतनी ताकत से दिया कि उनके सारे एयरबेस आज भी आईसीयू में पड़े हैं, आज भी आईसीयू में पड़े हैं। ये हमारी सेना का सटीक ऑपरेशन था। कुछ ही घंटों में पाकिस्तान ने सफेद झंडा फहराना शुरू कर दिया। उन्होंने कहा कि हम गोली नहीं चलाना चाहते। हमने कहा हम तो पहले भी कह देते थे भाई, सुख चैन की जिंदगी जियो, रोटी खाओ, वरना मेरी गोली तो है ही।
But perhaps after the assessment report by the BSF, India needs to revisit the stratagem. The Israelis specialize in hot pursuit. Should we also adopt a strategy of preemption? Hit them as they assemble at these terror pads, not after they cross, infiltrate and hit us? Let's go straight across to Major Manik Jolly and ask his opinion. He's strategic affairs analyst. Manik Jolly, do you think the time has come not to sit on our haunches, but to go across whenever we see a build-up and target them at their launch pads? Why wait?
Hi, Rahul. Thanks for having this interesting and very critical discussion. I think especially since we are in middle of Op Sindoor, we have not announced a termination. It gives India all the rights to go after these launch pads if they have been identified. There is no reason for us to wait. I mean, yes, there will be analysts who will come up with a lot of points why we should not do it. But I think if you just judge the pros and cons, we have a lot of pros if we go ahead and do that attack. Firstly, the more terrorists and bases we take out, we keep India safer, because these people are getting together only to launch another terror attack, just basic logic. Secondly, it also takes away the great narrative which Pakistan and opposition and everybody is crying about Trump's interference. I think if we go and hit them, we conclusively prove that it was the the cessation of fire was because the military of both countries decided that. It was not that we got influenced by President Trump. So if we go after these terror camps, it will be a very solid reply in that section and prove it for once and all that we decide when we attack, who we attack, where we attack.
Can this be dominance? Can this be, Major Jolly? Just a very simple, straightforward question. If we were to cross the LOC or even use munitions, as we have done in these pictures, would it be construed as a revisitation of the adventurism, etc., that Pakistan would like to accuse us of to start something?
I think we can't take away that part from Pakistan. It has to be, I mean, it's the reality that we live in, that Pakistan will continue to keep crying, keep spreading the canards and its narratives, and that we are the victims here, all that. And we have to start looking beyond that. It is like we often say, the nuclear bluff. This is another part of, another side of that coin, that whenever we attack the terror camps, they will come up with these lies, they will come up with these cries. So we have to stop, we have to ignore them totally. And if we have the capability, there's no reason stopping, because I'll come back to the first point I said. We are in middle of the Op Sindoor. It is in continuation. We have the full right to go after the terror camps, and we should go for it. The only fear, the biggest thing everybody would say is, would this escalate now? You know, that escalation radar has been spoken much about in the past 1 month.
Yeah.
But I think India is pretty much capable, and we have displayed that we are able to handle that, even if they want to take it to next level. So there is no point waiting for these. As the terror infrastructure goes, the entire arteries of the infrastructure actually start to build up within India as well as in the back end of Pakistan also. Why give that chance? We should keep striking whenever we can. So you keep destroying the camps and do not let that, you know, reach the next level, because once these terror camps are established and you wait that for once they are built up, then we'll take them out. By the time they have trained hundreds of terrorists and sent them all across.
That's true. And,
so
and we can't afford another Pahalgam.
We should take them out.
We are trying to build the economy in Kashmir. We want people to actually visit. We want that normalcy quotient to return. You've seen Omar Abdullah today at the Pahalgam itself. He was by the river. He was by the main selfie point. He was also on his way to different other parts where tourists hang out, trying to build once again confidence in tourists at the peak of summer and the summer break to return. So viewers, if we see them on the other side, go after them. Major Jolly is very clear, don't take chances. We leave it at this. Vantage coming up with Palki Sharma.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
When you are seeing the graphics, sir, and you can see the graphics and you can hear the experts, the former Air Chief Marshal RKS Bhadoria Sahab has come out and given numbers and figures which exactly mirror some of these findings that we have put out through our sources and through this dossier that we have been able to access, which was put together by Wing Commander Satyam Kushwaha. So I have to ask you, sir, they always say there is, you know, in the theatre of national security, there is no room for political denial, only duty, courage and clarity. Sir, are you failing your duty by the forces? Simple. Just a simple question.
Yeah. See, if you take any services which any citizen is opting it, then definitely his first perspective is to give the full contribution with dedication and hard working to that nation so that it can support to the entire country. So there is never being doubt on any of the armed forces or any of the civil services or any of the jobs that one is doing with respect to the service to the nation. That is my first statement to you. Secondly, see, when it comes to Congress, because as you say that I was just informed 2 minutes before that I have to join, and that is the dedication and what I feel to my political party to be here with you answering your hard questions on the hard talks. So definitely nobody is going to do such things, I think.
Okay, but so let me ask you, because it's an important follow-up question that I must pose to you. Do you agree when Mr. Kharge called this operation a chutput operation, would that not amount to undermining the achievements of our forces? First answer, do you agree with Mr. Kharge? Do you believe this was chutput? Yes or no?
No, I already answered to your question in my previous statement that all people who worked in the larger interest of the nation are working with very hard dedication and hard efforts. So we cannot say that any effort is in vain or any effort that anybody is
Okay.
keeping for the
So then
national
can I
security.
ask you, this is very,
Yeah, sure.
I appreciate you for your candor and thank you very much. But can I ask you then, why hasn't any action been contemplated against those from your party, including Mr. Kharge?
See, you have right to pose question on us, and definitely that has to be answered by, because we are also responsible to the country. And if you are asking such question, then definitely it has to be posed on the highest or apex person of the party. Let's see what happens. I am not here able to give your answer or justification about what you are asking right now. So I
Okay.
will be sorry for it.
Okay, you're sorry for the fact that someone has used the word chutput. Let me ask Mr. Srivastava. Mr. Srivastava, are you sorry? Would you say unfortunate usage of the term?
No.
Underwritten
No.
by insecurity,
No.
political insecurity, and a desperate attempt to.
No political insecurity.
No political.
No political insecurity. I endorse what he said.
You endorse.
And I support him. He said the right thing. He said
So,
the right
so
thing.
you,
Maybe
so
the
you
Pravakta
will
from
doubt,
Congress doesn't
you will
think it is
doubt
the
the
right thing from his
forces.
party. Yeah. No, we do not doubt the forces also. You called the operations midway under American pressure. This is what Mr. Kharge is trying to say. 10 साल आपने ढिंडोरा पीटा, अखंड भारत, बांग्लादेश, पाकिस्तान, बलूचिस्तान अलग, सिंध अलग. 10 years this government has done a nautanki, and the BJP kept on fooling the people that we are going to do this and that. And then when you go over there and the Americans put a hand on your shoulder and say stop, you come back.
On what
That is the
basis are you
context in
making
which
this
Mr. Kharge is
statement, sir?
talking.
On what basis are you saying the Americans put a hand on our
Absolutely,
shoulder?
Everybody knows it.
What?
Absolutely, it is American pressure. Early morning,
How?
money is given to Pakistan.
Explain to me.
Early morning, the
Early-
IMF passes the loan. Early morning, Pakistanis get the money. Everybody knows it.
So how does that
Everybody
stop
knows
us?
it. We were hitting the targets.
So one
The
minute,
army was
one
going
minute.
fine.
Just
We had
look
these
at the
jawans.
logic. One second,
Everybody
Mr.
respects the
Srivastava.
army.
One second.
Yeah.
You know, you're all fire and brimstone, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
That's fine. You see,
Yeah.
that's okay. But I want you to think about this, viewers. He says, you see, in the morning they gave the money to Pakistan. So this proves that everything was being done by America, orchestrated by America. Now remember, viewers, this is Trump who came to power and immediately gave Pakistan another tranche of money so that they could upgrade their F-16s. And this happened, viewers, first term. Biden continued the policy, continued to give money. Then Trump comes back into power and gives more money. So money was always been given, but that didn't stop India from crossing the LOC and bombing.
No.
Now, let me
It is the
finish. I'm now
timing.
bringing out the facts. Okay.
No,
So
it
you're
is the
talking about an
timing. Comment
IMF
on the
loan.
timing.
I'm talking about direct
Mr.
loan from
Analyst,
the
comment
American
on the
government.
timing. We were at war.
Sir,
We were at war.
Sir.
And India was sidelined and they gave money to the Pakistanis.
How?
What was the foreign minister doing?
Okay.
168 foreign visits.
so then
of the Prime
why
Minister,
does,
and not a
excuse me,
single
Mr.
country stand with
Srivastava,
India.
so are you saying that people like Shashi Tharoor,
Yeah.
people like Mr. Khurshid, people like Manish Tiwari, who have said that, and Mr. Asaduddin Owaisi, who have said that we created hell in Pakistan, are all liars? That they are all under American pressure? People
I'll
from
tell you
your
what.
own ranks?
You don't have to.
John
you see,
Britas?
They are two different things.
What
The
is two
army
different things?
And the External Affairs Ministry and the cabinet.
No, one second,
Don't
one second.
equate the government and the army.
person who
They are
leads.
different organizations.
Okay. One second. Let's just rewind, viewers.
Nobody is questioning the army and the bravado.
This man says, should put strike. Who does this reflect on, viewers? When you.
Hello, Namaskar. This is First Post and you're watching Vantage with me, Palki Sharma. India is stepping up its fight against Pakistan. The world over, multi-party delegations are making India's case, and at home, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is intensifying his messaging. He is speaking directly to Pakistan's youth. Live peacefully, eat your bread or eat my bullets. That is his message. It's an open warning, but Pakistan's army is not backing down. It is arming up. It is expanding.